Hey, thanks for tuning in because I got something to say. Welcome to Talk That Shit Radio, and I am your host, Mr. Talk That Shit, live on the streets in front of Magic City. And today I got Mo Ash with me. What's going on with you?
Yo, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh, man, just some more of it, trying to pick your brain.
I see you got me out here in the heat. I don't know how good it's going to be, but go for it. What you got?
I mean, today we're going to talk about kids versus parents' rights.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You say you have children. How many children do you have?
3.
Okay. Age range?
I have 18, I have 15, and I have 7.
What has been the struggle to raise those children without interference from anyone, whether it be the county, the government, teachers, anybody, just interference to let you raise your kids how you want to raise your kids?
So I would probably say the biggest thing is the agendas that they push. Social media, kids having access to different things, even in the schools, they don't really have control. I feel like the cell phone policies or, what they're doing, they kind of come and go as they please. Sometimes they don't even know that they've left the premises, things of that nature. So maybe just overall, not having that old school vibe or feeling of like it takes a village. Like back in the day, it would be like it take a village to raise the kids. So every single person that would come into contact with those children were doing their best efforts or putting their best foot forward to nourish, to lead them in the right directions, etc. Nowadays, it's kind of like, them ain't my kids, and people don't really care. Even the teachers, like they half-ass care and half teach the curriculums and, things like that. So I believe that it's 50-50. It's part parents, it's part everyone else, leadership, schools, family, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, if you have children, you can't really rely on a support system if you don't have that, so to say. So you have to do the best you can.
So how do you feel about kids getting their parents in trouble, basically just going to school, telling home business? When I was a kid, we was raised, you keep your business at home. You don't go out and put other folks in your business.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the way things are going on now with kids basically getting their parents in trouble because they've been given more rights than the parents?
Yeah, in some situations I can see that. I think it all depends on the way that they're raised. Like it just depends on how your children are brought up, because I have 3 children and I've never had that specific issue. Of course, I've had issues with my kids. I have an 18-year-old that's incarcerated, from being hard-headed, basically. But at the end of the day, I don't feel that I've had anyone that basically stopped me from being the parent that I wanted to be, or from instilling, the morals or whatnot that I wanted into my children, because at the end of the day, these are my kids. As far as kids getting their parents in trouble, I think it's like back to how they're raised, what you allow, what you bring up in them. Like you said, back in the day, we were taught to, what goes on at home stays at home. I instill that in my kids as well. So, it just depends on how you're teaching your kids and what you're teaching your kids as well. So.
Have you felt that raising your kids, you've had to use caution when it comes to discipline them? Because nowadays you have society and the law telling you how to discipline your kids. You can't do this or can't do that. So have you found a struggle with trying to be cautious with disciplining your children, or you just go for what you know and,
No, I don't have no struggle. First of all, I had these kids. I'm the one that pay the bills. I'm the one that raised them. I'm the one that take them to church. I'm the one that basically every single day in their life, they depend on me. So for someone outside of my home to come into my home and think that they can tell me the way that I can raise my kids, I'm not going for that. On the other side of things, spiritually, I was brought up by the Bible. So you spare the rod, you spoil the child. I'm not sparing no rods around my house. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like maybe I could have been a little harder on my oldest kid, and maybe we could have prevented some of the issues that he faced, but it's neither here nor there. Life experiences, for me, for him, for our whole family. But at the end of the day, I just feel like I'm going to raise my kids the best way that I see fit. I'm going to discipline them the best way I see fit. And anyone that may have an issue with it, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Every state has their own different laws about the children and how they can be disciplined, the rights they have on, they don't have to inform the children. California has a law to where if you're 12 and older, you can go get birth control, you can get STD testing, you can get a bunch of things. If you want to change your gender, you don't have to tell your parents. No one has to tell your parents. How is that concerning? And how does that really stop a parent from raising their child the right way when the rights are being taken away from the parents and given to the children?
I don't feel like it stops the parent. I feel like it probably brainwashes the kids a little bit. First of all, I feel like at 12 years old, we shouldn't be telling any kids or giving them any ideas of gender or any of that. That shouldn't be the focus mentally for children. And if they're feeling that way, it's for us to take them and put them in the proper treatments to find out why they're feeling that way, what's going on, and to, tend to, that issue as needed. As far as that law is concerned, I would just say this: it's kind of a contradiction in a lot of places. I think at the age of like 12 or 13, you can choose which family member you want to live with. They give you so many emancipated rights, but not necessarily an emancipated child. But at the end of the day, it's a contradiction because you're giving them the right to make these type of decisions, but yet if something happens to them in everyday life, they're still considered a minor, and then the parent is still liable.
Right.
So
right.
where is the balance? Like
Right.
if I'm raising the kid and I'm liable for anything that they do or the decisions that they make, but you guys are telling them that it's okay to make certain decisions, then how do we come to a common median as far as the parents and the laws to make it fair for everybody?
Right. I've noticed it's been a big situation with this generation, the last generation, Generation X, and we have this new Gen Alpha generation with the respect towards parents. It's been a lot of these kids, they actually don't comprehend what respecting your parent is and think we're on an equal level.
I don't think that it's not that they don't comprehend, they don't give a fuck.
Right.
It's a difference between not caring and comprehending. They comprehend very well. They just don't care because everybody's telling them that they're grown at certain ages. They feel like they can go out here and do whatever they want. You got social media influencing, things like that. As far as how we battle it, it goes back to the upbringing. It goes back to parents tightening up. It goes back to putting your kids in different activities and groups and programs and things that are productive that they can actually learn from and that will set them up for success. There's so much stuff out here for kids nowadays, especially in this generation, for them to be into, for them to start getting their own content, creating anything that they really want to do. They can really do it at a young age, and it's more valuable at that age because people see a bigger investment when you're younger. You know what I mean? So it's like really shifting gears and pointing them into a different direction instead of just kind of like egging it on or enabling it or saying, well, that's the law or whatever. People got to speak up.
Right. Okay, I appreciate your insight. Well, you heard it first right here on Talk That Shit Radio. Mr. Talk That Shit signing out.